Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. We're back in my kitchen and today I'm going to show you guys a delicious recipe for tacos de birria. Yep, they're good. I'm going to be showing you how to make it in an Instant Pot. You can do it on the stove top, you can do it in the oven, crock pot version, but today I'm going to show you guys how to make it in the Instant Pot. So y'all come on. Come on. You coming? Come on now. Alright, so we have all of our stuff together. First, we're going to start with our meat, okay? This is a 3-pound chuck beef roast, okay? And all I've done is cut it into big quarters like this, and I seared it, okay? This is a very important step. Do not overcook it. You're just going to sear it, okay? Just so you see this little browning here. It's still raw in the middle, okay? It's going to do the actual cooking in here, okay? Now, since I'm doing the Instant Pot version, y'all can do this in a crock pot, on the stove top, in the oven, but this is the way I'm gonna do it. I've got about 2 cups of some beef broth that I already had, that I used from a different recipe. If y'all wanna use store-bought, you can, or you can just use the bouillon, the beef version. It's up to you, okay? So we're just gonna go ahead and take these and stick them in here, okay? Now while this is cooking, and by the way, y'all are gonna cook this, if you're doing the Instant Pot version, you're gonna put this on the beef stew setting, okay? And it usually cooks for about 35 minutes, okay? So, I'm gonna get all my ingredients I'm gonna put in here, okay? First, I've got here about 4 chopped cloves of garlic, fresh. You can use minced if you want, it's up to you, but I use fresh, okay? You're just gonna make sure you get all those in there, okay? Then I used 1 whole onion, but this is only half. I'm gonna use the other half later, okay? You're gonna throw that in, okay? I've got 1 tablespoon of salt, okay? Maybe a little less. Salt is to taste, okay? Just sprinkle all that on there, okay? Next, you're gonna use the Mexican oregano, okay? You're gonna probably put, I wanna say about 1 teaspoon, no more. It can be kind of strong. If you wanna add more, if you like it a lot, you can, but that's about all I'm gonna put, okay? Then, you're gonna take some ground cinnamon, a pinch, okay? Don't go overboard with the cinnamon. It ain't gonna taste right if you do. If I can open it. Alright, remember I said just a little pinch, okay? So I mean just like that. A couple little sprinkles, okay? Nothing crazy. Next, if you don't have ground cloves, you can use whole ones, but don't put them in there whole. You're gonna have to grind them up before you put them in there. Same thing with the cloves. You don't wanna go overboard, okay? You're just gonna literally put a little bitty dash, okay? And I'll have all the information for all the amounts in my description below, okay? Now you're gonna get some Cumin. You're gonna use about 1 teaspoon of Cumin, okay? This also has to be ground. If you wanna use fresh, you can, but you have to make sure that it's ground up, okay? Then we're gonna add some thyme leaves. You can use fresh, but if you have this, works just as good, okay? That's probably about a half a teaspoon or so. Then we're gonna come in with some, this is the beef flavor bouillon, okay? I'm gonna use about a half a teaspoon of this. All right, okay, a half teaspoon of that. Then we're gonna come in with, this one is the tomato and the chicken bouillon mixed. Okay, I'm gonna do 1 whole teaspoon of this one. Okay, and just sprinkle that on. Alright. Then, when you have all this in there, the last thing you're gonna do is just throw in some bay leaves. I've got about 4 bay leaves here. You're just gonna throw them in on top, okay? Now, this part is important, guys, okay? Because it does matter which function that you use cook it on, okay? Make sure that your pot is nice and secure. Seems like you get it on there, right? Okay? Make sure it's nice and secure. Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna pick the stew meat one, okay? So you're gonna press your menu button, and then you're gonna scroll on over to number 5, okay? And start, okay? This function here takes about 35 minutes or so. I'll come in and look at it and see what I think about it. If you have more than that amount of meat that I told you in there, you might need to cook it a little bit longer, but we'll check it out, okay? Because we're still gonna do another round. In the meantime, while this is cooking, we're gonna go ahead and make our sauce, okay? To go ahead and add into our pot whenever it's almost done, okay? So the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna have, I've got here about 7 ancho peppers, okay? And then I've got 4 tomatoes, and I've got about 5 of the Chile Arbol, okay? You don't wanna put too many of these because these things are spicy, okay? All I'm gonna do is pour some hot water over them, let them steep for about 20 minutes, and then we'll come back, grind them up, and then we'll add them to our pot whenever that's just about ready, okay? All right, guys, so our beef is done, okay, for now, because we have to add some other stuff. First step that you're gonna do, once this thing beeps, let it sit for about 5 or 10 minutes. It'll automatically go into a keep warm little thing that it does on its own. Now, before you open this is very important, okay? So make sure you're listening, okay? You have to switch this little thing to this little steam option over here, okay? When it's cooking, it stays towards the back. Whenever it's done, you push it forward towards you. Now don't go over on top of it and do it, okay? Because this little thing is gonna shoot out steam, okay? It will burn you, okay? So make sure you push this away from you, just like that, and then just kind of step back and let it do its thing, okay? And that'll go on for however long it needs to. It just depends on the setting. Okay, now you can see that it's starting to slow down some. You can hear it too. Okay. See, that little thing dropped on its own. That's letting you know that it's safe for you to open it. Okay? So now, you're just gonna turn it and open it. Now, man, take a look at this. This stuff is looking really good. My, my, my. All right. So as you can see, look at our pieces, okay? And you got all those juices and broths that we had already added, and then it makes its own after it's sitting there for a while. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna just remove just a little bit of the broth, okay? Nothing crazy, just enough. Because remember, the chiles that I told you about with the tomato and everything? That's this, okay? And all that's going to be in the description below, okay? All I did was put the 7 ancho peppers, 2 tomatoes, 2 cloves of garlic, fresh, but they were on the smaller side. They weren't too big, okay? And then I added half a teaspoon of the beef bouillon, and then I just let it get all liquefied. I used my little NutriBullet thing, but y'all can use an actual blender if you want, okay? So now what I'm going to do, it comes with this cool little spoon whenever you buy it, okay? You see all that fat on the top? See that? You're gonna wanna try to skim around and get most of that off, okay? Because this is what we're gonna use to make our tacos whenever we put it on the stove, okay? That's for the frying. So I'm probably gonna take off maybe about a half a cup. Just enough to get off all that little fat there, okay? This smells delicious, guys. Really good. All right, so now that you've taken off most of it, now what you're gonna do is you're gonna go ahead and add this into your pot, okay? See that? Added all that in. Just kind of give it a quick little stir there. Okay. Now what you're gonna do, if you want to at this point, you can go ahead and test it for salt. I usually test it towards the very end, right before it's actually done. Now what you're gonna do is the same thing we did in the beginning, okay? You're gonna put it back to the same setting and we're gonna let it cook with all that sauce, okay? So you're gonna make sure it's nice and locked, okay? Then you're gonna go over to menu. You're gonna choose your stew meat or your steak meat option, okay? So you're just gonna click your, well, I'm gonna push stop first, then menu, okay? And then go back over to the same setting and then start, okay? And we're gonna let this cook. Now once this finishes, then it'll be done and ready for us to shred everything up, okay? In the meantime, I've got those, these really spicy chiles, these things. Don't put too many, okay? I only put about 5 in here, and then I put half a teaspoon of the tomato bouillon and 2 tomatoes that I let boil, and 1 small clove of garlic. I'm gonna blend all this up, and this will be something that you can add. It's optional that you can add to the actual soup for the video, okay? So we'll go ahead and blend this up, and then we'll let this cook, and then we'll come back and show you what it looks like at the end. Alright guys, so the meat is finally ready, and look at this. Look at that, okay? I'm just gonna move it from here. You wanna leave all your bay leaves and all that stuff in here because we're just gonna move it to this bowl so that we can go ahead and shred it up. And it's already starting to fall apart, so it shouldn't take as long. Alright guys, so now that you have all your stuff nice and prepared, you have your cheese, your onion, your cilantro, your tortillas, your meat, and then all the juices that came from that, plus that little oil that we scoop off the top of it, okay? You're gonna take your tortilla, corn tortilla, okay? Make sure that your pan is nice and hot, okay? I put just a little bit of oil on there, okay? And then you're gonna place it there, okay? You're gonna cook them on both sides before you add your meat and your cheese and your onions and your cilantro. Now as far as the onions and cilantro go, that's optional, okay? You don't have to put it on there. You can add it after they're already finished. That's just the way that I like to make them. Not unless it's for the kids because they don't like none of that stuff. Okay? Get it nice and juicy on there, okay? Once you have them like this, you're just gonna give them a flip there, because you want them to be soft, and then once you put your meat and your cheese, you're gonna want them to get that little crunch, okay? So now, you're gonna add your meat, okay? A good amount of meat, okay? Nobody likes a taco with no meat on it. Alright? There you go. Go ahead and turn up our heat some. Y'all can cook these on a regular comal. I just like using it like this. And I can cook more at a time, okay? And then you're gonna take your cheese, okay? And top it off. You can put as much or as little cheese as you want. Okay? Like I said, I like to cook them with the onions on them and the cilantro. If you want to cook it with them, you can. If not, you can put them on after. See how you're starting to hear them kind of start making that little sizzling sound? That means you're starting to get that crunch that we're looking for. Okay? what you're gonna do is you're gonna flip them, kind of like a quesadilla, okay? Smash them down. See that? Like that. All right. We're gonna let these cook down, guys, and then I'm gonna come back and plate them. Alright guys, so here is my finished product, tacos de birria. Here's that little salsa that I told you guys about. Now this little thing here is pretty spicy, but it's really good, okay? Everything that I did today is going to be in the description below. All the amounts and everything, okay? Now I'm going to go ahead and try this. I want you guys to see it. I'm going to add a little bit of this to it, okay? Just because it's so good. Then what you're gonna want to do, I've let them cool down, by the way, for just a little bit because that cheese will get you. Things get hot. You're gonna add your cilantro and your some fresh onions, and then just stir that around a bit. All right, let's dig in. You hear that? That's how you want them to be, nice and crunchy, okay? Then you just dip in. Ooh, looks so good, smells delicious. Reminds me of Mexico. This is really good, guys. Really good. You'll definitely have to try out this recipe and leave some comments. Let me know what you thought about it. Man, I gotta go. This is good. I'm gonna finish eating. Okay? Alright, so y'all be sure to leave some comments in the comment section below and let me know what you thought of the recipe. If you did try it out, y'all should definitely try it out. It is really, really good. Okay? I will tell you one thing about the tortillas. It does make a difference on which type you use. It's called La Banderita is the brand, and then on the front it says La Casera. So they're kind of more of like a more homemade kind of taste, more authentic taste of corn tortilla. I would definitely get those. You can use the regular ones if you want. It's up to you. Also, guys, it is the holidays, time of giving, so what better time than now to do a giveaway, okay? I'm gonna be giving away a Instant Pot, just like the one that I used today. So if you wanna be entered into that, go ahead and click that subscribe button and leave me a comment in the comment section below saying that you wanna enter. You can just put, I'm in, I wanna enter, whatever it is you wanna, however you wanna let me know that you wanna enter. And then I'm gonna go through the comments and I'll choose that one person in the next 2 weeks, and I'll go ahead and put that on vlog as well. Let y'all know who I picked. And yeah, that's it. So y'all just take care and be safe in these times, and I'll be seeing you guys later. Bye bye now.